Well, you see, YouTube, we back again with another gym breakdown. Today, we're breaking down my shoulder day. What I can say about shoulders is a real important muscle group. Just off of aesthetics, I think shoulders is in like the top one or two. Like if you want to look big, even if you're not that big, you want to get the broadest shoulders you could get. You know what I mean? And that is basically the gist of shoulders for me. Like, because if you put it into perspective, your front delts, this kind of work plenty with your chest, right? But it doesn't necessarily make your shoulders look like crazy. So side laterals, that is this piece of your shoulder here, and the rear delts, that is like the go-to shoulder muscles that you should be focusing on to really see a difference in your physique, right? So let me just break down my typical shoulder day. So usually as the warm up, I like to warm up with the same workouts I'm doing as I say. So I pick up at 35 and I pick up at 45. I even remember. And I basically do some raises and I add in some flies as well, just to get a range of motion, just to feel it on my shoulder. What you want to do if you're doing this particular warm-up, you want to keep your wrists like you're holding a bar. You don't want to fly like you're flying, like your palms facing each other. You want to fly like this, right? Just so you can keep the tension on your shoulder as much as possible and not your chest. Because we're trying to eliminate your chest doing any work in this exercise, right? You want to have your seat at a 45-degree angle, I would say. Or let me say the seat straight, just carry it one back. That'd be perfect for shoulders. You could do it straight up, but I find like when you get a little chance to lean back a little bit and you have the dumbbell here, all the tension is be on your shoulders, right? So then I went to the 70. This is just a feel set for me. It's now a working set, it's now warm up. Just to feel some kind of weights to make sure everything fire and everything feeling good, So as you can see, how I hold the dumbbell especially is more of a twist than straight across. I stopped do straight across pressing, Well, I'm trying to stop. I ain't perfected as yet. And when I'm coming down, you see I'm coming down, I kind of touching my front delts with the dumbbell. All I just to feel the shoulders. I just to make sure I engage in the right muscle group. Right? So you see I do a few reps and then I was on to the big boy weights. I do 2 drop sets, starting with 85 and then I drop down to like 70 or 60, right? But I didn't record the first drop set. I don't know. I just was such in the zone, I forget to press record, right? So the pump cover come off. I started to get serious, right? And why music does work for me personally is because it has helped me it has raised my heart rate, I can't lie. It has raised my anxiety, it has overstimulated me, and I don't think it have anything better than that when it comes to lifting heavy weights, personally, right? You need to find something in yourself to really give yourself that drive, that vigor. Like let me say having a good day. What going on make you feel to lift 100 plus pounds? Nothing. You have to find it, right? And music is that bridge for me personally, right? So I'm a brother to spot me. What I would advise people to do when they're doing this exercise is get a spotter to get it up, right? Not to help you through all the reps, just to get it up for you. So you can use all the strength to get as much reps as you could, And you could see I kind of coming down a little too much like this and not like this. But it's a work in progress, man. It's a work in progress. The stronger I get with my stabilizing muscles is when I'll be able to do a little turn on it, Yeah, man, I'm working for each rep. You see my left hand started give away on me there. So I know I only had probably one more in me. My left hand side to do this, so I reach too far out, So, and this was my second working set. I didn't record the first one. So at this point, I was hyped up on adrenaline. I was just going, let me just go. Let me just do it. So I tell him immediately, how many 70s, without moving. Don't break momentum. I know you might feel like you could do it. You might feel like you need a rest in between, but sometimes it's good to give the muscle something they don't know coming, like remember them only know resistance. So if I just keep giving it resistance, they have to break down, they have to get stronger, and which is what I think I'm doing with this particular job set. So I try my best to focus on just carrying the weight straight up, you know what I mean? You see, like one arm coming up, that was a good set though. I'm not counting, right? I decided to go down again. Right? You don't want to have your hands too far out. You don't want to have your hands in too close. You want to find the sweet spot because shoulders is a muscle group that real people just end up tweaking and having a lock on and the pain in the shoulders. Like, by the grace of God, I didn't have any tweaks or any pain in my shoulder. I had a little pain from racking back a weight at time, and that was about it. I still have a little thing from that, but to say it has hindered my workouts, nah, I don't have none of that. So I had to be thankful to God for that, So you see, like when I come down on the last set here, I'm trying to do this weight heavy, you know what I mean? I feel that's a real good set. Personally, my shoulders pumped. I don't think it's none better than that. So right after I do that, I went on to seated dumbbell raises. So die for the the side delts. Underrated workout, by the way, and I would advise you could do it standing, but do it seated first when you're at your strongest, so you could really control the momentum. So I doing 25s here, and not necessarily not heavy, but it was heavy for me. So I try my best to raise. When you're raising, you don't want your elbows going over your wrist, so you don't want to do this. When you raise, you don't want to see that. You want to keep this so you're raising like this, right? Make sure your knuckles, like we said, this piece facing downwards, and picture your palm must always be facing the ground. In other words, when you're doing your dumbbell side delt raise, right? You see, I get my brother to give him a spot on the few reps coming down to the end, because I would never be able to completely raise on those few 3 to 4 reps. So it's really important that you have somebody there sometimes to give it that extra push, because those reps really would make the difference when it comes to, instead of doing a job set, because the same weight, I just gain a little, a little guy. I tell him, make sure don't help me too much, just give me a good starting feel, and I go do the rest. Right, so then I raised to the 35s. I shouldn't raise, but I should raise to the 30s, but I raised to the 35. So I think I needed that spot from the first one, really and truly. Right? So we go in. Typically, I like to do a lot of side raises, like around 6 sets. To failure, I don't even count, I just go. You know what I mean? Because, as I said, if you want your shoulders to have that 3D image, if you want to look big in a jersey, if you want to look wide, your shoulders need to have that separation from other muscles, you know what I mean? So I do about 4 or 5 with the 35, and I immediately drop back to the 25 just to finish my job set. Right? You could do a lot of gyms have the machine where you just put your hand, so the part just be here and you're doing this. Others do that a lot too, but today I decided to opt in for the dumbbell raise, just because to give you workout diversity. Sometimes when you're doing the same thing all the time, your body not only getting used to it, but you getting used to it, and you might be strong in this, but you might be weak in this. So it's always good to switch it up a little bit, give yourself a little, throw in a wild card. All right, so this workout is probably the most underrated workout I ever do. So you're doing cables. I hope every gym have this. You're lying down. You're doing side lateral raise, obviously, but it's with cables and it's constant tension. So you want to go as close to the foot pad as possible. Lie back, your arms like this, pretty straightforward. Then you do your lateral raise. You know, you want to do about 8 to 10 reps in this, and then you want to switch to this one here when you're raising like this, right? You see me do it. So I dropped the weight because it was getting real heavy. Remember, this was directly after the side lateral raise with the dumbbells, right? So I decided to do two sets of that, and about 3 sets of this, right? You want to go to failure on every single set when it comes to side raises and shoulders, you know. So this was the second part of it. See, I raising straight up, you know. I work in the overall shoulder. Every part of your shoulder probably not as much red delts, but you know, front delts, side delts. You can see I have a natural curve in my arms. Now doing it straight might be really difficult, you know. So to control the weight, add a little curve in my arms. When you finish this, you directly want to go into another raise, but you're doing it like this. You know, people just have a bar and it is raised like this for the shoulders. We do the same thing, same concept, just cable, constant tension. So I raised the weight as much as I could on this. I think I raised it like 85. So I try my best to really pull, almost like a face pull, but obviously I line back. So I'm trying to get my arms to reach almost my ears. That's the concept. You want to do same thing, go to failure, you know, focus on your breathing, and there's only weight, it's not going to kill you. If it's too heavy, drop and keep going. Right, so as I say, I do it again. This was the drop set, you know. So I started with the side delts, you know, and I would advise this workout for anybody. If you want your shoulders to grow, if you want your shoulders to get stronger, if you want your bench to get stronger, you need to focus on the side raises, the rear delts, the rear delt flies, you know, as much as you would focus on just dumbbell press for your shoulders. You know, it really underrated. And to be honest, you should be starting your shoulder day with these kind of workouts. But just because I just go heavy is why I didn't start with, let me say, some side raises or rear delts. I wanted to start with rear delts because, you know, doing rear delts at the end of a shoulder day, I feel like you just do your shoulders are injustice, because it is the muscle group that need a lot of work. Even though you could work rear delts on back day, I feel like making it a focus like early on, mentally, it real good for your shoulders. So yeah, I went ahead and do a good few reps. Guys still going, you know, straight to failure, because after this, shoulder day basically done, you know. So when you're working out, especially doing things it doesn't usually do, you should try and really do research on the workout before you do it. You know what I mean? Because I had to do a lot of research before doing this particular movement. Because if you don't know what you're doing in this particular workout, you could get tweaks in your shoulder very easily, right? And that's not what anybody wants. Immediately after I did that workout, I decided to focus on my rear delts finally. So if you have wrist straps, this could be good. If you do have wrist straps, you could use the normal handle. But the wrist straps is just eliminate the using the strength in your hand or like trying to turn it into a tricep workout as much. Once you're locking here on the wrist and you're doing your rear delt flies, it's completely different. And I would say it's a little harder, and it is focused more on your rear delts than doing it with the normal handle, right? So things you want to focus on when you're doing this particular workout. You don't want to go too heavy, right? What I like to do as well at the front is cross my arms to get a bigger stretch. But obviously, if I do one set with this hand above, the next set I'll do with this hand above. So you gotta know how to split up your movements, so you equalize each rear delt. So what you want to do especially when it comes to this workout, is try to not let a tricep do any work. It will be hard, right? So you want to keep your chest forward, straight up, right? You want to have your arms at a angle that you're not going to do this. You see this here? You're not going to do that. You must always picture doing this, using this muscle. You have to do that. So when you're locking and you come here, you don't have a full lockout. When you reach here and you tend to do this, something like this, you want to just stop right here and come back in, and keep going. Go to failure, work hard, push through every rep. Simple as that. Your last rep should be, you can't even pass this piece here. That should be your last rep. But a lot of people just do red delts like this. The other variation obviously is doing it seated with your chest on the pad and your chest supported and you're rowing in a kind of way like that. But I just doing it like this because it's the constant tension on the muscle, the cable, right? Same as always, I doing a drop set. Most of my shoulder workouts, back workouts, there's be drop sets just to really try to get our mind muscle connection, because you might do 6 reps and not feel a thing, but you might drop the weight and you might do 4 and that might be the best 4 you ever feel, So right after that, I stay on the cable and I decided to do some sideways again. That to tell you how much I value this particular workout. I decided to do sideways again with the wrist straps. Usually I just do it with my arm behind my back. I wanted to kind of focus on each shoulder unilaterally and give it a good amount of, tender and care. So I decided to do one arm. When you're doing this particular workout, you want to stand. You could stand straight, but I just stand with my feet like a tilting like this. Hold on to the machine itself, tilt like this. So you give yourself a little, so in other words, your shoulder just drop a little bit, give you a deeper stretch when your arm across your body. When you're starting the workout in particular, you don't want your arm to be at your side. You want your arm to be in front of you, almost to the opposite leg. So you raise it like this. And go till failure. Go till your hand can't raise. Your last reps should be you just partially raising it right here. You know what I mean? If you didn't do that, you didn't finish your set. Same thing again, we do the next arm. I think I only do 2 sets of this because I already do so much side raises. At this point, my arm was really done. And welcome back at this, it's looking like I'm doing more red delts. Nah, but it's side delts, don't worry. Keep your elbows in front of your shoulder. Don't have it behind your shoulder. Keep your elbows in front of your shoulder. Your wrist must never pass your elbows like this. So, simple as that. Easy workout to master. Right? So after this, I decided to do a little more pressing movement, but on the Smith machine, and we go in behind the head. We doing press, but everything is behind the head, right? Is this workout good? I don't even know, but I wanted to do it. I don't know what this workout does work. It feel like more traps than shoulders, but I sure it has some shoulders working. And especially doing this after all those previous workout sets, it was crazy. It was mad. So, see, I start one time with a plate on a side. It had at this point, you don't need to warm up again. You're already warm. Once you put the seat in the right place and you feel the bar coming down properly, you just go. Don't start to warm up. See, that is a good set. That is a lovely set. I started to laugh because if my brother wasn't there, I would not raise that. So we do progressive overload in this. On this set, I decided to put on a 10, a 45 and a 10, right? I kind of thought this would be the max because of how that previous set finished, Oh, we working. And the thing about a spotter, right? He not necessarily doing nothing there, but the fact that he there, it is mentally give you, in my opinion, a boost to finish the crucial reps. You know what I mean? Like all here I seen he behind me, so I don't know nothing bad that could happen. Like the worst that could happen is he helped me up like that day. So I tell him just now, I wanted to do 2 more. I didn't feel like I do enough on that particular set. So I stopped. I take a breather. I didn't get up. I didn't drink no water. I didn't change no song. You know? Just take a breath. Take a beat and you're back in. Back in the fire. Nice. Nice work. That is what we wanted. You see that set there? That is the kind of reps we needed. I should have do 2 more. You know? But that is kind of what you're looking for when you're doing any workout. Right? So, I put on my music. I get hype. Adrenaline was right there. So, I put on at 25. At 45 on each side. And let me work. I should have started this really and truly, but I didn't think I would have go heavy. The first rep, I know it was too heavy, but I ain't putting it down. Once I get a little push, he probably spot me a little too much, but you know, right? I can't remember what I think I do a job set. Wow, I take off the wrist strap, so I'm serious now. I was kind of in a zone too. Yeah, I was in a zone. Oh, we going again? Let's go. Let's go. Time to work. That is the rep we wanted. You see, I achieve, if not failure, as close to failure as possible. You know? And look, I just see now, I'll take a breath, and I'm doing a job set. Madness. Check me down a dedication. Remember, this is after all the previous workouts as well. That's crazy. I didn't even know I do all this. See, I can't even raise it. You know? We're looking for failure. We hunting for failure. We try my best to achieve failure. At this point, all I hear in my head is 1 more. I fully believe in pushing yourself till the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? So it is go, you know. Once you work out, paying off in the end for me personally, I have no problem. Once you eat right, sleep right, work out hard, I don't think it have anything that could stop anyone. And that was it. Really nice set. After this, pec deck flies for red delts. Nice workout. Beautiful workout. Hard to master, I would say. I don't even think I mastered it, but we getting there. Alright, we getting there. So you want to keep your arms straight out, you know, throughout the set. You don't want to be doing this straight out to give your red delts the most work, you know. But doing a pec deck machine, it kind of hard to mess up, I would say, because the form, it already laid out for you. What you want to do is have the seat in a kind of way where it resting right here on your chest, and you want your butt to be scoot back far on the seat, so you'll be at an angle like this. You know, you'll be seated like this, right? That's so you will get full stretch on the red delt flies, right? So I did 3 sets of this. I don't think I recorded the 3 sets. I think I only recorded 2 sets, you know. But you get the gist of this workout. This workout really hard to master, I would say, but it hard to mess up at the same time, which kind of weird, you know. Once you focus on the fundamentals, you do raise the weight where you can do at least 5, you could be okay. But the higher reps in these kind of workouts it could be the better for those smaller muscle groups, in my opinion. So I kind of wanted to start with this workout, but I guess I'll just start with it on the next day. And obviously, drop set is part of, that should be my middle name, really and truly. Because I basically do a drop set on every single workout I do for my shoulder. That kind of crazy, but you know, because I doesn't do crazy weights. Like I doesn't lift 4, 5 and you know, weights where they could do that and that is it, you know. So to achieve maximum failure to really grow, in my opinion, you gotta push yourself to go heavy and then bring yourself in a comfort zone where you could actually work, you know? So this was just my shoulder day. Shoulders is one of my favorite body parts to work just because of the pump it does get after it. Sadly, I didn't take no videos on a pump or whatever, but, you know. So hope you guys learned something from this video. I hope at least one thing you take away that could help you in your particular shoulder day. Or like even if you try any of the workouts I do or intensity wise or even jobs or, you know, that would be really appreciated, and I already appreciated that you're even watching. So, for me to get the opportunity to share my workouts with you guys is really unreal, for free too. So, I just hope you enjoyed the video today, and be sure to look out for more crazy gym breakdowns, you know. So, we gotta do some new exercises to diversify the content a little bit. But we'll get there. So, until next time, peace out.